Hey guys, Colton here from the EV Kingdom, and honestly, welcome back to What If Neo Joined Team RWBY, or Ranger. Here. Now, before anything, no, I am not changing how this went. And the story ended a while ago. This is just a bonus. Yes, and if you already seen my recent short, I actually was going through some of my older What If videos, and I got to the end of that, well, the Neo What If, and I just ended up remembering an idea I wanted to do for it. Yeah, now, I'm not saying I don't hate the story, or that I want to change how it ended. I still enjoyed it, and I still believe it ended the right way. Also, oh yes, this is another one-panel comic. If I'm coming back to this, I'm going back the way it started. And also, I just like this one too. It's pretty cute as well. Oh, but yeah, I wanted to come back to this because of one particular reason. I got to the end of it, and I remembered what I did for, what I wanted to do for, What If, I remembered a version of what I did for a quick recap of if I decided to do Volume 9. So, I wanted to do that in full here. So, this is just a bonus part. What if Volume 9 happened? Also, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna call this video a bonus episode. So yeah, you don't have to rewatch the entire series to figure out what's going on. All I'm gonna say is I'm gonna be focusing on events in Volume 9. Also, rereading the comments of those videos too. One of you did make a good point 2 months ago, and I want to bring it up now. And since this is gonna be a bonus either way, I thought, if I'm gonna bringing this part up again, I might as well do that. So before we're actually getting to that point, I'm gonna go back a little bit to Volume 6. Because a good idea that was mentioned was if Neo went with Team RWBY when they split it off during the train incident, and at the start of the volume. So I'm gonna go over a little bit of that before I get to the Volume 9 stuff. Okay. In that version and of how things would have went, and if I didn't go with what I did, Neo would go with Team RWBY. She would figure out the same thing and everyone else did from Jin. And instead of what a Crow did and punched Ozpin, Neo would be at a raging point, actually pointing her blade at him. Again, and they're not angry at Oscar. They're angry at Ozpin. And it's just Ozpin's in Oscar's body. He's currently not talking, so yeah. Yeah, nothing against the kid, just there's no other way to do it. So they all still get to the abandoned village with the apathies. They're just looming on everything, thinking back on what all happened, and now that he might not even succeed. Neo's honestly getting deeper into her own mind, and subconscious. John's not there to help calm her down. And as that comment stated, and I do see a moment where Neo snaps at RWBY, who's just trying to help, with RWBY also being stressed out by everything, snapping at her too, leading to a small argument. And the next morning, they're all still tired. They're about to just abandon the relic. Like, Ruby spots eyes and gets a sudden realization of what's going on. The apathy stuff happens. They're all terrified and they leave. Heck, I could even see, yeah, at this point, Neo and Ruby are just happy all of that is done. And probably hugging each other in joy. I mean, that he got out of that alive. And after realizing what happened, a little bit embarrassed, they make up. And finally bury the hatchet. And that would still all go to the same outcome. This is just a bonus. What would happen if I changed one thing? Now to the big thing, and the one thing I wanted to discuss since I started rethinking about this what if. Volume 9. I'm gonna stick with how it would possibly happen, and as I did in the video, so if you don't know that, I do recommend watching the entire what if so you understand the full story. But, yeah, Neo and John fall into the ever after, or they know the rest of Team RWBY, they know the rest of Team RWBY fell, so they just wait on them. Hours turn to days, days to months, months to years. Eventually, Crescent Rose comes down, and they decide to keep waiting. Hey, now Neo and John would go around helping people learn about this creature that just eats souls. Neo, still being Neo, and not wanting to deal with it, especially since John's there, would take it out, so there's no issues with that. Yeah. Now, the rest of Night storyline would still happen, and I'd still agree that Neo and John would finally get married and have kids while stuck in the ever after. Again, years have gone by, and they still have each other. But here, I'm going into more detail because I regret not doing it during the series. I'm not going to redo the entire series just to add more detail to this part. But yeah. I believe they have 2 kids, 1 daughter, 1 son. The daughter's older, so John understands the feeling of the son, on a little bit, on a personal level. And I believe their names would be Kira Arc and Roman Arc. Both of them naming one of their kids based off someone important in their life. And Neo using her semblance to basically reenact some things for their kids, so they understand the meaning of their names. And just a wholesome family moment thing. Heck, I could even see Neo knowing in John's mentalities starting to wane, and wanting to help her husband out. I see her pretending to attack the Star People's village occasionally, so John can still feel like he's a hero, along with him just protecting them naturally. John, knowing his wife for so long and being able to, at this point, tell when she's using her semblance, knows she's doing this, but doesn't say anything, appreciating the gesture. We get to the point where Team RWBY, he reunites with John. John takes him to his place. He introduces him to the Star People. Then introduces him to Neo, who's happy to see her best friend. And years have gone by for them. Neo had a lot of time to think back. And with everything in the story I already did, at this point I could see Neo thinking of Ruby as her best friend. And either way, she's excited to see Ruby and the others. And Ruby and Team RWBY meets their kids, who I'm gonna say are around the same ages they were in the beginning of Volume 1. With Pyrrha being about 18, 16-ish. 18, 16-ish, who knows. Maybe 17. And again, I don't fully remember, but I'm gonna have to look it up again for future what ifs. And Roman being 2 years younger, so around RWBY's age of 15. And by that point, they all just do their thing. I think this would be around the time Neo does her fake attack. All that happens. Team RWBY helps, not knowing that this is just a family routine they've done, and to help John feel better. Heck, I could even see Pyrrha and Roman and helping out in little ways. Also taking up a little bit of their namesake. Like Pyrrha being a fighter like her father, helping him in those pretend fights. And Roman helping Neo with some of the plans, like have them come from different angles. Also to keep her father, to keep his father and sister on the ropes. Again, just a cute family thing. Again, no one's really in harm, and no one's gonna be harmed in it. And the Star people, well, in Volume 9, are trying to, so they wouldn't mind either way. But yeah, I could see this happening, but RWBY having an accident or panic hits her, or something happens, and it's causing her to misfire her scythe. Hitting something, causing the flood to happen, and a little bit ahead of schedule, so John can't stop it. With this leading to John's breaking point. He snaps at RWBY. He ends up snapping. And Neo's worried. And she would go over to John, but Team RWBY's there to comfort him and their kids, so she goes over to RWBY trying to help her out. Like RWBY did for her, or at least tried to during Volume 6 in this new timeline. And RWBY snaps at her too. Keep in mind, RWBY's mental state is not the best right now. And Neo also somewhat starts worrying, but also snaps a little again, and the time has been catching up to them. I could see Neo tried bringing some tea to help RWBY calm down. And the fight happens, and without any of them noticing, and a leaf from the tree fell in. And maybe it was orchestrated, and by someone else, who knows. But yeah, the cat comes and then starts basically dissing both of them. In hopes of, taking over one of their... Well, he was originally attempting to take over RWBY's body. But since Neo's here and he knows Neo is definitely capable of taking him out again, and Neo did take out that one thing, and been using it for a while. So there's a reason he never went after Neo or John's family. And yeah, after that, I could easily see him basically tearing them down emotionally, and calling RWBY a failure, and even Neo, with the whole, you pretend to be a hero, but let's not lie. Hi, you done this. Yes, wanting your own selfish desire. You claim it was helping, but if you weren't doing this, none of this would have happened. And again, it was a pretty stressful moment for everyone. So I think this could still work on Neo, even if it's a little bit. And he's 2 down. Maybe she even sees the tea and drinks it. And maybe something tells her to drink it. Or the cat says drinking it is a bad thing, and Ruby tries getting at least one up on the cat. And Team Ruby and John and the kids arrive. And I see Ruby drink it, and Neo get possessed. Now, this angers John a lot, and especially with the cat taking over his wife. But he leaves before that. Before John could even get anything. Yeah, sorry. Before John could get back at him, or at him. Anyways, everything would still go the same. John makes the star people come back. John's resolute was back to calm, understanding. And they get to the tree. They fight a cat possessed Neo, or Neo possessed cat. No, I was right the first time. John isn't trying to hurt his wife. And I do believe the kids would be here too. Pyrrha helping her father in the close range fighting with Roman and supporting from the rear. Ruby eventually comes. They also get Neo back. They defeat the cat like in canon. And Neo reasonably he takes the cat out. And as I was thinking, and 2 possible outcomes that I think would be a wholesome and a memorable moment. Would Pyrrha and Roman arc join them? Would they stay with Tiny? Or Little? I also forgot that mouse's name. I'll have to remind myself later. But to be fair, I don't really go over in Volume 9 much, so yeah. I still believe that would happen, but the cat killed her. Killed Tiny the first time. I'm not Neo. Because Neo wouldn't do that. But I do see 2 options. One, Pyrrha and Roman staying there. You're calling it their home. Neo and John would still leave because they know they have duties back in their world. So Pyrrha takes over being the Rusted Knight, and I could even see Roman becoming like mayor of the Star People's village. They're just helping them with things they may not understand. And they have an emotional farewell. In the other outcome, I'd see... In the other outcome, I'd see them wanting to explore the world, seeing in the world their parents came from, and wanting to learn more about their namesakes. Or at least the people they were named after. Or from other people. So they go with them. John and Neo get reverted to their younger ages before they left, still having some silver in their hair to represent how old they got. I could even see when John remembered how he sounded, and Neo just giggling, and even their kids, and saying, "Wow, you guys were so young. What happened to you?" Or something like that. All just family teasing. And I could even see John reuniting with his family after getting there. It's a wholesome moment. And then Neo, Roman, and Pyrrha step in, and now it becomes an explanation on how did my son already have teenage kids with the ex-criminal? But yeah, I just really enjoyed that, and I wanted to come back to it and to fully flush out that possible Volume 9. And I enjoyed it. And I liked the idea when I was working on it. I just didn't go through it in detail because I always was focusing on making at least 15 minutes. I didn't fully start the 20-minute videos thing till later. And I've been talking a lot. Hot right now. Yeah. Now hold on a second. Needed a drink. But yeah, that's been the bonus episode of What If Neo Joined Team Ranger. Now, am I gonna be doing these bonus videos for any of the other what ifs I've done? Probably not. Now, this one was an exception because as I was just rewatching it and I wanted to go back to this. It's for this part, what if? Well, this part alone. Will I possibly do it in the future? Who knows? Again, I'm not doing this because I have any regret. Well, because I wanted to change anything from the original What If series. I just had one small regret, and that was not going into much detail, with some things. Especially with how short of a video I was doing at the time. Heck, when I was thinking about it, I also thought there could have been more jokes with involving Neo. As I said in that What If, I was basing some of Neo's personality off Chibi. Since we had more of Neo in Chibi than we did in normal RWBY. And yes, RWBY did have Neo appear a lot. But I mean in general. Well, when the story didn't require her. So we could actually get some more personality from her. But yeah, I just felt like I could done some more details, and I really wanted to redo this. Well, redo the Volume 9 possibility. Because there was more I could have done with that. Anyways, I've been rambling on way too long. I hope you enjoyed this bonus part. I'm probably gonna add it to the Neo, What If playlist just because the story is still taking place in there. And yeah, I'll end up seeing you guys later. And I already pre-recorded part 4 to the Speedster What If, so I'll post that later on. But yeah, I'll see you all later. Remember to like if you enjoyed. And subscribe so you never miss another video. Share with others to spread the word. Of Eevee. Or just share your favorite What If you've seen of mine, or favorite video of mine. I don't mind if you share. And comment anything. What if recommendations. And ideas for how you would do one of these what ifs. It's literally you talk about your pet dog. If you want. I read all your comments, and I enjoy doing so. Also, sorry if you heard any TV noises. I'm currently with one of my great-grandparents, and they're hard of hearing. And so it has to be this loud. Anyways, I'll see you all later. Bye.